Ghana cedis. In 2023, we achieved 37.02 tons of gold at a cost of $1,554,000,000 United States dollars, and we spent $1,372,000,000 Ghana cedis. In 2024, we achieved 54.47 tons of gold, and we spent $4 billion United States dollars, and spent $5 billion in terms of cost to achieving that. In 2025, we moved the purchases from 54.7 tons to 111 tons. So it generated cumulatively 11 billion United States dollars, and we only spent 9 billion Ghana cedis achieving that. Thirdly, the accounting effect of a stronger cedi. In fact, to every side of a situation, there are positives and negatives. Ghanaians are enjoying relative stability of our currency, yet it is making our cedi value of all our foreign bonds much cheaper, and we lose value. The accounting effect of a strong cedi: when the cedi strengthens, the cedi value of the dollar, gold, and other foreign reserves of the bank goes down on the books of Bank of Ghana. And let me take an example to show. If you are holding $100 and the dollar is 17 Ghana cedis, that time the Bank of Ghana cedi equivalent will be what? 1,700. In this year, if you are still holding the same $100 and the cedi is now 10 cedis, you see that the money will now be 1,000 Ghana cedis. So the $100 value hasn't changed. But because of the strong performance of the cedi, it is making the cedi value that we record in Ghana's books to be what? Lower. That represents a cost. So the cost that the Bank of Ghana will mention include this cost, and that cost doesn't translate into any economic cost, but accounting cost. The dollar themselves did not leave Ghana. In fact, they actually grew from 9.1%, 1.9 billion Ghana cedis to 13.8 billion. But the cedi value of those holdings recorded a charge of 19.32 billion Ghana cedis. So what we suffered because of our strong management of the currency resulted in a loss of 19.32 billion Ghana cedis. And if you study accounting very well and the Bank of Ghana's law, we don't add this as part of loss. I'm just sounding this caution to the naysayers. They will be attempted to add other comprehensive income to loss of a year. You don't do that based on accounting, international accounting principles. What it simply means is that this is a mirror image of the gain the bank recorded when the cedi was weakening. When we had the cedi at 17, the Bank of Ghana, using our presentation currency cedi in their books, they were seeing that the money was increasing. But because we are doing well with it, you are seeing them getting loss of 19 billion Ghana cedi. A weaker cedi would have produced an accounting gain and a higher inflation for the ordinary Ghanaian. The right thing happened. Now let me deal finally with the negative equity position of the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana negative equity position did not begin in 2025. In fact, before we signed onto the IMF program, it began in 2022, when the Bank of Ghana recorded a negative equity position of 55.1 billion Ghana cedis, having ended in 2021 a positive position of 5.2 billion Ghana cedis. The cause was the 2022 to 2023 domestic debt exchange program, a national policy decision taken to restore Ghana back to debt sustainability. The Bank of Ghana incurred a significant cost in 2022, largely as a result of the DDEP emanating from years of economic mismanagement, culminating into Ghana attaining an enviable record of a junk economy and debt distress under the Nanado Dr. Bawumia government. The immediate impact was impairment of about 48 billion Ghana cedis, with about 32 billion being an illegal and final write-off without parliamentary approval. The central bank holding of the government debt was restructured. Non-marketable holdings of the government of Ghana instrument, including long-term stocks, a COVID-19 bond, and an overdraft, were subjected to 50% haircut. Bank of Ghana, others claim being holding the marketable instrument were exchanged under similar terms as other financial institutions under the DDEP did. This led to an impairment of 48.040 billion in 2022. At the same time, the bank incurred a revaluation loss on its foreign assets and liabilities due to exchange rate depreciation. The impairment and revaluation losses led to a negative equity position of 55.12 billion in 2022. Under the program, the bank holding of government securities were restructured at a lower coupon rate, reducing the interest income of the bank earned by approximately 13 billion a year, and the effect that continued up till to date. What it means is that for the haircut decision, government was supposed to be receiving interest income on the investment we had done of 13 billion annually. But the haircut took 50% of the total investment portfolio of Bank of Ghana, and that disease still continued to happen up till this year, 2026. The bank absorbed a portion of Ghana's national fiscal adjustment to help restore the debt sustainability for our country. The negative equity position is a balance sheet record of that contribution. The government has formally acknowledged this on 6th January 2025 in coordination with the IMF. The government of Ghana and the bank signed a memorandum of understanding to recapitalize, providing a framework if it is exercised. The memorandum of understanding exists between government of Ghana acknowledged that the start of negative equity position was caused by the domestic exchange program, and that program will continue to affect the bank in many years ahead of us. Now, when you get the full details, you will see the build-up of the reserve. These results do not affect the bank's ability to operate. It is important. Having said the cost of operating in 2025 was 15.6 billion, does not affect the bank's ability to operate. It is important to be clear on this point. These results do not affect the bank's ability to set and implement monetary policy, to manage Ghana's foreign reserves, and to supervise the financial system. The bank's authority comes from law and not on its balance sheet. This pattern is not unique to Ghana. The European Bank reported a loss in 2023 and 2024 while bridging euro area inflation under control. The United States Federal Reserve has its own continuous income shortfalls since September 2022. The Czech National Bank operated with a national negative equity of 17 consecutive years and was regarded throughout that period as one of Europe's most credible central banks. Bringing inflation down costs the central bank money. It is the same characteristic everywhere. Ghana is not an outlier. The 2025 financial statement have been prepared under the International Financial Reporting Standard, the IFRS, and under the Bank of Ghana law, and independently audited and presented to Parliament when we resume. Further, the actual cost of these financial results on the Bank of Ghana operational strength is minimal. This clearly demonstrated by significant improvement in the bank policy position, which strengthened from approximately 700 million Ghana cedis to 5.5 billion Ghana cedis. This shift indicates the bank generated sufficient income through its policy operations to cover the costs associated with restoring macroeconomic stability. In effect, the bank has been able to finance the very intervention required to anchor inflation, stabilize the currency, and restore policy credibility. Why this loss will never be repeated? 2026 will be a year of difference. The 2025 result was a peak. Looking ahead, 4 things has changed in the report. First, with inflation at 3.2% in March 2026, there is no longer a large monetary overhang to absorb. The cost of liquidity operations through the OMO falls structurally as inflation fight is won. Secondly, with the policy rate cut from 27% at the end of 2024 to 14% in March 2026, every CD of the liquidity operates now costs roughly half and what it cost a year ago. New bills are issued at lower coupon rates. Existing bills roll over into lower rate replacement as they mature through the debt replacement program. Thirdly, on 26 February 2026, this Parliament passed the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve, GANREP. Under the new policy framework, off-takers pre-finance the gold program and the Ministry of Finance allocates the budget. The accounting effect that drove the $9 billion under the gold purchase program in 2025 will not follow through the bank's books in the foreseen years. The fourth point, with the cedi expected to remain stable at its new, stronger level, the large revaluation effect that produced about 19.32 billion in 2025 should not be featured in 2026 and beyond years. The financial framework is improving. The financial structure of the program that drove the 2025 costs have been strengthened. The country can expect a different picture in the year ahead. In conclusion, the message to Ghanaians is this afternoon. The financial results that was released today reflect the work that was required to restore stability of our country. The work has been done. Inflation is down. The city is stronger. Reserves are at record lows. Lending rates are coming down. Public debt is lower. Economy is growing. Confidence is back. The institutions